Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to talk to you about the Keukenhof Park, which is the most beautiful park in the world. For those who like flowers, it was one of the most sensational places we have ever been in our lives. It's really something out of the ordinary that you can't miss if you're going to visit Holland. So these are going to be very quick and useful tips explaining how to get there, how it works, how to buy the tours, how much the ticket costs, when you see the tulips, because it's not very seasoned every year. There are specific months for you to visit, so there will be very useful tips for you to use on your trip. So enjoy the video guys, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, many people have the dream of visiting the famous tulip park. Lee, my wife, had this dream for a long time. She kept insisting for a couple of years and we ended up going, and it really surprised me. I didn't expect much from this trip, but it really surprised me because it's different from anything we have ever seen in the world. It's surreal. To give you an idea of the dimension of this park, it's the Keukenhof Park. It's difficult to pronounce and to write. It will take you a little time to get it right because it's very complicated in the Dutch language, but it's a park that has more than 7 million tulips. That's a lot. The total area of it's equivalent to more than 30 soccer fields, so it's an absurd business. It's a park that they made exclusive for the tulips. The focus is tulips. It has more than 800 different types of tulips of all colors, of all types. Finally, it's a differentiated business. It's a place that you have to include in your list to visit in Europe because it's very beautiful. Well, first of all, how to get to the park. To get to the Keukenhof Park, it's very close to Amsterdam. It's a little bit more than 30 kilometers. It's very close. There are two options. You can either take a bus directly from Amsterdam Central Station, or you buy the ticket there on the spot or beforehand on the internet. You go by yourself and then you need the ticket to enter the park, or you have the option of the guided tour. We did the guided tour and we found it much easier because you take the bus directly. You already have the exact point, the time of the place. You go to the station, you are there on the platform that they will tell you. You get in. There is service in several languages. It's very nice. Most of the guides are very good in several languages. You will be able to understand everything very well. It helps a lot. To get there is not that simple, so with a guided tour you end up having an easier structure. We thought it was cooler. We thought it was very simple. The bus is very good. You go there with people that have the same intention, and the tour stops in some different places. There is a very nice village, a village that they stop before you get to the park, depending on the day after the park, which is very nice. It has those windmills that we are used to see in Holland in the photos, that very different landscape. It's a very nice village. Most of the companies make this stop, so it ends up being a differential that if you do it by yourself, you have this extra tour to say so, and it's very beautiful. If you buy it with an agency, with a guided tour, you already have everything included. You already have the park entrance fee, you already have transportation, you already have all this access much easier and make your life a little bit easier. And the city where the Keukenhof Park is located is the city of Lisse. So it's a very small town with practically nothing else except the tulip park. And a very nice tip, when you go on the bus, which you usually go very early, you will wake up because you will see the famous tulip fields, tulip plantations, and other flowers that are sensational. On these guided tours, you get an audio guide with a headset that's available in several languages. You listen to them and they tell you what these plantations are, the history, how each place is during the time of the year. They explain everything, so it's very nice to see them because they are beautiful fields that you can see flowers all the way to the end of the landscape. So it's a crazy scenario. It's very cool. Don't sleep on the bus, for God's sake. A very important piece of information is that the tulip park, it only has tulips and it's open during some months of the year, which is the European spring. It's the spring there in Holland that usually occurs from the middle of March until the middle of May. It varies from year to year, and in 2019, for example, it was for the 19th of March until the 20th of May, more or less. So the most guaranteed time to get the flowers and not have a headache is April. The only problem is that it's the busiest period because everybody goes at this time because because it's the time when the flowers are at their peak, when they're very full, very alive. But you can also take a chance and go a little earlier. We ended up going right at the beginning. We went in the middle of March and we got the park in the first week it opened. It was very nice because it was empty. Not very empty because it's never very empty. There's a lot of demand, but it was much emptier than the other months because we ended up comparing the picture of the people who went in April and it was much more crowded. So it depends on each person's opinion, but if you can prioritize, try to get the end of March or the beginning of May, which is the end of spring, because then you can get everything a little bit emptier and you will have flowers just like the same. A very nice thing about the park is that they plant the tulips in a way that they stay during all this period very full, very alive, because what happens, the tulips, they die in less than a month. So they plant in a way that when the first tulips that they planted start to die in the middle of this period, others are already underneath or behind the way they plant, which I don't know exactly how it is, and they are already being bored and replacing those, so the park will be good. Let's talk about prices. It varies a lot because the euro is going up and down a lot. We will talk about it just to give you an idea. If you buy your ticket separately, either on the spot or online, you will pay about 19 euros. Today, this is the price. It depends on the season converted, but it's this value. It's about 20 euros the ticket, and the guided tour that is already included in this ticket, it costs about 80 euros, and then you convert it to the currency of your country. So just to give you an idea more or less of how much the separate ticket costs and the combo that has the tour with transportation and the ticket, everything is already together. There are some tours in that village, everything. That is why we think that sometimes the tour is worth it. We'll even leave here in the description of the video below the link to the website where we buy the tickets, which we always do the tours and excursions there, and they are very good. They are one of the biggest in Europe. They are specialists in Amsterdam and in Holland, so the tour is very good and the price is very good too. We always trust them and buy all the tours. They have all the tours in Amsterdam. They have the Heineken experience. They have the museums in Amsterdam. They have the boat tour around Amsterdam, which is very nice. So I'll leave the link here below. Take a look and you can get more information, prices, more specific details of this tour. That is very cool. The tours usually have 3 schedules. They start in the morning at 9 AM. There is another option usually at noon, another option at both. You will walk around in there for about 3 hours more or less. So we advise you to go early or late in the afternoon. At lunchtime around noon, 1 o'clock, that's when it gets more crowded, busier, and the heat of the sun is a little bit stronger, more intense. So our tip is try to go either first thing in the morning or later in the afternoon. We went in the morning and we liked it very much because we got there very early. The park was practically opening, so it was very nice. The scenery was very beautiful and we had time to do everything we needed to do. Oh, and guys, any questions you may have, any questions at all about the trip or about any other destination, send them to us and we'll be happy to help you. If you want, it's even easier. Send us a message on social networks, a direct message at @Lorenzi, and we'll be happy to help you plan your trip and take the opportunity to follow us there. We are always traveling around the world, trying to show these travel tips in a very cool way and the family routine for little ones, which are a blast. I'm sure you're gonna love it, so make sure you follow us there. Another cool piece of information is that every year the Keukenhof Park has a theme, so the tulips end up being based on a theme. Sometimes it's the theme of love, sometimes it has been the theme of peace, sometimes it has been the flower power theme, which is flower power, so every year there is a different theme, and then some drawings they do in the garden. The whole theme of the park is based on this theme, so do research before to see what the theme will be on your trip. And here below in the video description, I'll leave other links that we use it a lot in our trip to Holland that we think will help you a lot too. That there is the travel insurance that's mandatory. Don't forget that for almost every country in Europe, you need to have international travel insurance. It's mandatory with an assistance that covers at least 30,000 euros. So get travel insurance that meets this coverage. It's cheap. We'll leave here below a travel insurance comparator that's sensational. It compares the prices in all insurance brokers, the biggest and best in the world, and shows you the best prices so you can find the cheapest one. You will save a lot. It ends up being 18 to 20 euros a good insurance with this coverage for about 10-12 days of traveling. It varies a little bit, but just to give you an idea, there's the chip with the internet, so you can use your internet peacefully abroad. You will need to buy a prepaid chip. The site that we'll leave here is very cool. It's a company that sends the digital chip in your email. When you get there, all you have to do is activate it and you will be able to use your cell phone calmly to enjoy, to move around, to locate yourself during during your trip, which ends up being very important to use a cell phone, especially in Amsterdam. There's this website that I mentioned that sells all the tickets, tours, and excursions. It's very cool. There's the website with the map of the best hotels in the best regions, which we made a map delimiting the best region of Amsterdam. In short, it's a step-by-step guide with everything you need to plan your trip to the Netherlands the best way. And that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel because it really helps us a lot. And don't forget to watch the other videos that are really cool. What to do in Amsterdam, 10 tips, the best tips of Amsterdam is very good, where to stay in Amsterdam, and don't forget to watch the best one, which is how to save a lot on your trip to Holland and Amsterdam. It's a step-by-step guide that we made for you to plan your whole trip from beginning to the end with the best saving tips a lot. Your trip will be much cheaper really with only the best services and tips. So I'll leave this video here on the side along with the playlist that has all the other videos from Amsterdam and Holland for you to watch. And thanks a lot, guys. Have nice trips.